Are you a single parent, empty nester? You were a single parent and now your nest is empty and you find yourself full of anxiety. Your mind, your brain are always going, scanning rapidly, trying to figure out what to do now that your needed parenting roles have expired. And being home alone and not having those kids there who are now adults, who you prepared to be adults there, is causing increasing anxiety, despair, and loneliness. As a result, you're feeling helpless. You feel the depression setting in and you don't know where to go. You don't want to try online dating because, you don't want to be the next person chopped up in the trunk or taken for a scam and all the things that are happening with it now. I've actually been told things are going back to meeting people in person. But if you can relate to those feelings, I want to welcome you here today. My name is Dawn. I'm a licensed behavioral health clinician and a recovering empty nester. This is part 2 of my single parent empty nester series. The video before this goes over the origins of how we got to this place of loneliness and desperation, how our lives, as a quick recap, just over the last 20, 30 years, however long you had multiple kids in your house, was like you were the foreman in a factory and you knew how to run that factory, and then the factory closed and your little foreman book wasn't good anymore and you weren't needed. Step 2, what happens after that is you're sitting in that racing mind. Are they going to call? What are they going to do? And what happens, your kids, what happens is in all those years of raising kids as single parents, because we're on overdrive most of the time, financial, emotional, you want to add your spiritual component, faith, doing all the things for all the people you got left behind, and now you don't know yourself and you've completely lost your purpose. And the needier you are, the less those adult kids want to see you. I had lunch with one of my kids today, and I had decided, I had sat on I like as often as possible to have a weekly or regular get-together of a dinner with my adult children as a single empty nest parent to keep that family unit intact. And I kind of did a little experiment a couple of months ago, and I thought I'm going to sit at this table, and it was just an observation, and let them all talk, because I always go around asking how everybody's week is, what's going on in their lives. Everybody shares, and then I do a mother's blessing over them as we break and we huddle and we pray. And then I started thinking, gosh, during the week when I feel the need to call my kids, and one of them's pretty good about answering and getting back and the other isn't. And I thought, and I could feel for the one that I was very close to, that now doesn't, has moved on and is married and doesn't need that regular interaction with me because they have a spouse, as it should be. That's when I feel my anxiety building. I'm a single parent. This just happened. I want to share it with somebody. I got a new washer and dryer. I want to tell somebody. And it becomes that regular need, my need, the single parent empty nester's need to just share with somebody, starts to become a turnoff to them. So I kind of just stopped as an experiment sharing, and I wondered, when will somebody ask about what's going on with me? One of them does. One of them about once a month will say, hey, what's going on with you, Mom? The other one, not so much. So then when something happens, it's like, well, when did this happen? I said, well, you didn't ask. And my time is honestly so limited with my adult children that I do want to hear about them. So what do you do? What do you do with all this pot of things you want to share with people? How do you rediscover yourself? I have one of my early videos, one of my first ones last year, was how to reignite your inner self. This one now, part 2, we know how we got to this point. Foreman running the factory. Go back and watch that one. I'm Dawn, and I'm the recovery lady. That's my name. My name I go by from doing radio and other things. And we go from how we got there and I don't want to just talk about reigniting the inner passion, but how do we find out who we are? I have found the more I allow myself to pull back, to feel the pain, the misery, and the discomfort of the wheels spinning about where are my kids today? What are they doing? Are they at work? What if they did this? Offering advice that they don't need. Because I prepared them to launch. I've prepared them to go be independent. And every time we pull them back in and say, well, have you considered this? Have you considered that? I need to flip that mirror around and say, have they asked your advice? That's the first thing we got to do, is take a check of ourselves. Because a lot of times we create our situations to be worse by not properly adjusting to our new reality. So what can you do to get to know yourself better? For myself, I had some post-COVID things, trying to get myself, I've been doing a lot of car tips, doing this from the car instead of the studio, because I like to do it when I'm going around gym time, because I'm energized. And I realized, gosh, and all that self-care, and not just physical self-care, like getting your nails done, going to the doctor. What did I do to really get to know my body? So I made a bold choice. And, I've been seeing an endocrinologist and a dietitian, and I thought I'm gonna learn everything about my body, how to make it so I can be around see grandkids hopefully one day and feel good for myself, and to help come out of that pit of the loneliness, despair, the depression that set in from single parent empty nesting, which is, well, I guess if you don't like your spouse, it can be equally egregious the other way, but that's another episode. I will talk about the married empty nesters. So in sitting in that, I even did this bold thing called a DEXA scan. And that's the kind of like it's the machine they use for bone density, but they scan your body. I'm going to tell you something. Every ounce of muscle, fat, bone, where it is, ratios, and it's a complete body scan, but of like ratio bone, muscle, those things you use in the gym, those are not accurate. You got to lay on this thing and get it done. And I learned a lot of things about my body, a lot of things as far as the, physical condition and how I need to better take care of myself. And it was a hard awakening. I sat with that picture saying, wow, I'm this much percent fat, and I'm not talking BMI, and I have a good ratio there and no ratio over here, and really learning on how to take better care of myself, because I have room and time and space for that. So I am replacing the anxiety and the loneliness, because my kids don't need that energy, to turn that energy on myself and to do things for me. And that is very hard to do. When we are the giver, and especially as a single parent, you can't not give, because your full-time job is giving to care for them. To have to stop and to get the gift, really, of looking at ourselves is really life-changing. And that little bit of thing, even though I needed like 3 days of recovery to get over the shock of seeing those actual numbers, that little bit of recovery of pouring that one hard look into myself. And I'm not like just, hey, take some time, go to the gym. I'm doing that, but I'm getting a lot of coaching and getting a lot of physical insight and learning new things. It takes a lot of work. And as a single parent raising kids in the raising years, when they were under 21 or less, there really wasn't that space. So my challenge for you this week is, what is the thing about yourself? Your personality may be something you want to improve. Is it time for some counseling to work on some behavioral things? Is it time for the complete DEXA body scan, to see what kind of physical condition you're in and for your age, and how much will that take off your life? And I found out today, meeting with a dietitian, I've lost 10% of my body weight. Evidently, that's but I've worked like a dog. But you know what? Now I'm starting to enjoy it. And I tell you that because I didn't enjoy it. But now I'm starting to enjoy it, because I'm laying new behaviors in my brain. I'll say that. learning how to take care of myself, and now I'm starting to enjoy it. And I will cut time short with my kids if it means I have to carve out something for me. And even a month ago, I'm not sure I would have done that to that degree. That's what it looks like when we begin to change. Don't set big goals. You want SMART goals. SMART goals are what we even use in behavioral health, mental health, and a lot of fields. You know, it's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable. You know, you want to look at things that you can actually do. You don't want to say, I'm going to go run the 5K. Run it in a year and then take the little steps. Do the things. Maybe you need to do a DEXA scan, which is that body weight scan thing of your soul, of your priorities, of your spiritual life. Maybe you need to do a DEXA scan of your finances. I want to tell you this, and I say this to all my patients, and I've said it throughout my career. I don't teach anything that I haven't done, because who wants to just listen to somebody talk who doesn't understand what it's like? And I'm telling you, it's attainable. It's your homework for this week. Your assignment, as they say in Mission Impossible, should you choose to accept it as a single parent empty nester, is to really take a step, make a SMART goal. And what is your immediate thing you need to start looking at, and what step can you take this week? Do you need to meet with a financial counselor? There's no wrong answer here. But saying, I don't want to go there, it's too painful, you're going to be like, you know, the folks in the desert, 40 years in the desert to get, you know, to a 12-mile walk. That's what happened in the Bible. True story. And because you're spinning your wheels, because you just want to avoid it. You don't want to go take care of getting your body in shape, or your finances in shape, or your spiritual health, or your relational health. And you know what happens? It's going to take you 40 years to get on a 12-mile walk. So I want to challenge you to do that today. And if you haven't liked, subscribed, or shared, and you may not be a parent at all, but if you're a single parent, an empty nester, please share that. If there's any tips on just building yourself up, please leave a comment below. And again, fighting for my little channel. So want to get to 200 subscribers. If you could please like and subscribe, it would be such a blessing, and it would allow me, and it also encourage me to keep going on this. Love you guys so much. I'm Dawn, the Recovery Lady. Have a blessed day.